Hey everybody, it's Radishhead back with some more Upland analysis. In today's video I wanted us to return to New Orleans. It's been a few weeks since the city came out, and obviously we've had Nashville announcement, release and collection release since that time came out. And there was a lot of people who were kind of wondering, what would the impact of Nashville be on New Orleans? Obviously, when New Orleans came out, I think it's fair to say that it had a pretty big impact on Kansas City prices. Would the same thing happen to New Orleans when Nashville came out? And I was always of the opinion that New Orleans would hold up a bit stronger than Kansas City. I was always just a lot more bullish on New Orleans as a city. It's just got a lot more international appeal. I don't know, the city itself just got better architecture. It's just laid out in a more interesting way from a gameplay perspective. So I was always quite sure that it was going to hold up pretty well. And what I wanted to do in this video was sort of look at my fancy slides, which has some of the latest data on it, and then kind of go into my data set that has some of the more granular data. But the conclusion I think that I've come to is that New Orleans actually has held up really well following the Nashville release. And I think as Upland continues to grow, I think New Orleans is a place that's worth keeping an eye on. I've always been a huge Chicago fan. I think if I was a new player starting and I had some money to spend on the game, I'd spend it in Chicago. But if I didn't have as much of a budget, I think New Orleans is a really good place to take a look at. Let's just have a look at some of these charts on my screen. The floor price in UpX, you'd obviously expect the floor price to increase as more and more properties get minted, because usually it's the cheapest ones that get minted first, and that just generally pulls the price up. But that doesn't always happen smoothly. If I just quickly move to my Kansas City graph, look at this. Kansas City is being minted all the time, but the floor price is pretty wild. It's been going up and down, up and down. It's kind of been fluctuating between 4.5 and 5.1. New Orleans, it was pretty stagnant at about 5 until about the 6th of November, it looks like. And don't forget, the Nashville release was on the 3rd, and the collection reveals were on the 11th. So sort of within that time, New Orleans floor price, stayed pretty stable throughout the Nashville release, and then even going into collections being revealed, you'd expect people to be trying to offload stuff so they can, speculate on collections, whatever. But no, the floor price just continues to go up, and it's actually at about 5.9k now, so it's looking pretty healthy. I've got to say, I don't know if my audience was taking up my advice on the last video or what, but these USD discounts that I've got in my bottom left chart here aren't quite as dramatic as they were the last time I looked at this. But if you're buying in mid-city in dollars and selling in UpX, you're still making about 35% profit, which is pretty good. But other than that, nothing which is jumping out like there's no like 50% profits to be had. But definitely keep an eye out for that, because that is a really good way if you're just getting into the game but you feel like putting in a little bit of money. Check out my channel, because I do keep an eye on the neighborhoods and the collections where you get the best bang for your buck. If you're buying properties in dollars, selling them as UpX, you can get so much more for your money if you do it that way. Collections. I'm going to be showing you the granular detail for the collections in New Orleans in a minute, but I just wanted to show you that just generally the markup percentages are looking really healthy in a way that you might be surprised to see, having just had the Nashville release, having just had the Nashville collection reveals. The minimum markup percent for the whole city, it's still below 100%, but it is going up. We're at about 90% now, which I remember in my last video I was commenting that Chicago was at about 90%, and I said that was a pretty healthy number that's going to continue to go up in the future. I'm going to say the same thing here. That's a pretty healthy number that's going to continue to go up in the future. Yeah, 130, 140% for the blue collections. No, the elephant in the room, French Quarter being at a higher floor price than Garden District, even though French Quarter is a limited and Garden District is an exclusive. I don't know if that means Garden District is underpriced or French Quarter is overpriced. Probably a bit of both. French Quarter being at 68k floor is unheard of for a limited collection in a like a tier 2 1.5 city like New Orleans. But French Quarter, as I was saying in my collection speculation video, is just iconic. Like, everybody knows the French Quarter in New Orleans, so maybe it's always going to be valuable. I don't know. But Garden District, 66k floor, seems a bit low to me, so I'm going to keep an eye out for that. But just generally, look at this. Royal Street, 70k floor, 700% markup. CBD, 73k floor, 267% markup. Bit low, but there's some big properties in CBD, so you'd expect that markup to be a bit lower. This is more like it. St. Charles Avenue and Canal Street, 120k floor. Canal Street, I'm going to look at the granular detail in a minute, but these collections were just too cheap before, and I'll be honest, I was really bigging up New Orleans. I was saying, this is too cheap, like, buy it now. I wasn't expecting, even I wasn't expecting the prices to go up and recover this quickly. We've only just had Nashville. So I think that is really promising. And I said it before, and I'll say it again, 169k floor for Haine Boulevard is too low. You'll see in a minute, but this isn't even the lowest that it went. I don't know why people don't like Haine Boulevard. Like, I don't own this collection yet. Maybe I need to buy it. That's really cheap. For a rare collection in a city that's clearly quite popular, I don't know why. I can only assume that Haine Boulevard was minted up by a lot of less experienced players who, for them, 169k is like, oh, that's like all the UPICs in the world. It's not. You should hold your properties if they're rares, because I'm telling you, they're worth more than that. But yeah, that's the top level data. Pretty good. Let's have a look at the granular data, which I've got here, which I think sort of tells the story a bit more clearly. So in column H here, this is the earliest data that I collected for New Orleans. This is on the 21st of October, and I'm just going to sort of scroll along because I've frozen that column, right? Let's compare the data from the 21st of October to the 12th of November. So what is that, like 20? It's less than a month. It's about 20 days. And look at this. Keep in mind, we've had a city reveal, a city release between these two dates, and it's only 20 days. The floor has gone up by, in terms of percent, about 5%. In terms of UPICs, it's gone up by more than 2k. And look at these exclusive collections. 50,000, 70,000, 60,000, 73. It's gone up by 20k, 13k, 6k. St. Charles Avenue, this one stood out to me as being ridiculously underpriced before, and yes, this has gone up by 40k. Canal Street's gone up by 35k. Haine Boulevard is still pretty static, I'm telling you, it's underpriced. Decatur Street up by 100k. And then in terms of markups as well, which is what I've got down here, the difference in markup isn't quite as dramatic because the floor markup is usually made up of much more expensive properties, and they don't tend to change hands quite as often. But even then, the Canal Street markup has gone up by over 100%. The French Quarter over 100%. Royal Street over 100%. You know, I think it's fair to say that the release of Nashville, the impact of that on the prices in New Orleans was exaggerated. There was a lot of fear-mongering, I think, that, oh, Upland is releasing too many cities, it's going to kill the market. No, these numbers speak for themselves. I think they're only going to get stronger over time. We've been informed, sort of informally, that Nashville was the final city release for the year. So we've got well over a month now of no more cities, and people are going to be getting UPICs. They want to flip properties, they want to spend their money. We're going to get new players into the game. They're going to be looking at places like New Orleans. I'm telling you, New Orleans and Chicago, that is where the money is going to be. And I'm looking forward to reviewing New Orleans again in a few weeks' time. And I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing these prices are going to be even higher there than they are now. So that's my Radish prediction of the day. I just wanted to quickly remind everybody that I do have a 20k UPIX giveaway going on at the moment. So I'm going to have a link for the description for that. If you want to get involved in that, you've just got to post a comment on that video and you'll be in for a chance to win 20,000 UPIX. But if you liked this video, I'd love it if you gave me a like. And if you want to see similar content to this in the future, please consider subscribing to the channel. But I hope you found this useful, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, I'll see you next time.